Right. Hi Cleo, welcome to the tutorial for the Rainbow River. This is a redstone instructional video to make the Rainbow River that I built on the last ZombieCraft video. We're going to build it in 3 sections. So this is the first section. You want to get yourself some droppers, and we're going to make it into a nice little line of 6. If you want to do a 7-color river, you can add an extra dropper on the end, and then because the design is totally tileable, you can just follow this for a 7th. But we're going to do a 6th. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to put some blocks down one side like so. And then we need some repeaters facing into the blocks. I use diorite because it's a nice wasteful block that I'm never going to build with. And we're just going to set up a nice redstone signal like so. And then we're going to set up a nice clock. So the easiest way I found to setting up a clock is to grab one observer like that, and get a second one, point them into each other, and then because we don't want it running constantly, we can run a piston, and then we can just turn it off and on like so. So this redstone line will need to go to a lever that is accessible close by, so you can turn the thing on and off. Because this thing will make noise, I suggest that you actually hide this thing underground. So my one on the ZombieCraft server was hidden at least 16 blocks underground. And you want it at least 16 blocks below the lowest point of your Rainbow River. Okay? And then that way you won't hear the constant clicking of the droppers. But obviously, because we want to avoid lag, we also put in the ability to turn it off, so we can turn it on and off. Right. Once we've got that, we grab our hoppers. I'm going to use a lot of hoppers in this design. So make friends with Tango Tech and grab some of his iron. So we'll put some hoppers facing into the droppers. And like I say, this design is tileable, so we can do this. I then like to do this because it helps to add a little bit of a buffer. Hang on a second. Not quite that. We need to do that first. So we need an extra hopper, and these ones are pointing into the back of the hoppers. And then I like to do this because it adds a little bit of a buffer. And it gives the glass somewhere to store, plus it helps to slightly cut down on the amount of hoppers we're using. And then we're going to do a group of hoppers into those. Right, we're not going to worry about that just yet. So first off, we're going to finish this off first. So these things are obviously pointing directly upwards. Now, you can use bubble elevators to do this, but I actually prefer using an item elevator to do this. Mainly because bubble elevators add extra particles and stuff onto the server, so it can actually create a little bit more slowdown. So by doing this, it means that we can keep creative. It means that we can create a nice elevator, and then we basically just run this all the way up to the top of the thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump cut to a lovely build up elevator. So we've got our item elevator. Now, when we're doing an item elevator, we need to do the block directly above the dropper, and then the block on every single side of the dropper. So it needs to come out one more this side and one more this side. This is basically to help prevent blocks from drifting out the sides of the elevator. So hang on, if we sort of... What have I got? We've got loads of levers. Let's do that. Get in there. Right, and then if we turn it on, and then you can see all the lovely levers going up the block, and obviously they're going to pop out the top. So that is our item elevator, and that is section 1 of this thing complete. So let's move on to section 2. Now, section 2 is the item sorter. Now, the item sorter is going to be a little bit more complicated. And the item sorter itself is actually based on Impulse SV's item sorter. Okay, so we're going to build the actual item sort first. So we do that, then we need to do the blocks. Unfortunately, I wanted to do the nice hopper system, but we're not going to be able to do that. I just realised why I had to do it the other way. And then that, and that I think it is. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And then, no, that isn't right. No, that. Get it right, Jen. That's correct. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is we're going to grab some comparators, and these comparators will go like so, across the back of the hoppers like that, and then we get our redstone dust, and we're just going to make a nice big grid of dust back like so, and then we punch these blocks out under here. Punch those blocks out, and then we'll put them back in. Could probably have done. Let's do that bit first, shall we? Should probably have rehearsed this before we recorded it. Right, and then we want to put a repeater down here like so, and then we'll put these blocks back in, and then we'll fill that back in. And so we end up with this. I don't know why I'm showing you, because I'm not the cameraman. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to go down here. And we're going to stick torches on the underside of this. Right. So the way this works is these comparators are taking a signal from these hoppers. The signal goes into the redstone dust, powers this repeater, which powers this torch. When the signal in the hopper is strong enough, this torch will depower. And when it depowers, this hopper here will suck from the top torch, from the top. All right. That's wrong. That's wrong. They don't point directly in. These hoppers actually need to point. It doesn't matter where these hoppers point. They need to point anywhere that isn't into the block directly below them. So, for instance, here I have them pointing into the comparators. This is the important bit. This is the bit that I almost forgot and cocked up the entire system for. So we now have them pointing directly into the comparators like so. We now have redstone into the repeater, into the torch, which will power these hoppers. These hoppers won't suck or do anything until this torch becomes unpowered. So we need to fill this up with some blocks. What we're going to do is we're going to make an anvil now. Where's my anvils? There's my anvils. We need to make an anvil. You need to get yourself some levels. Get yourself some junk blocks. And what we're going to do is we're going to name the junk blocks Cleo's Bobbins. And what you need to do is these blocks are powered, so what you can do is literally go through, and if he clicks on the hoppers, he can show you what. He can show you what I'm doing. Which is, we want to fill, for each one of these hoppers, we basically want to fill the first 4 things with a single blob of diorite, the renamed diorite. We rename it so that if some actual diorite does end up in the system, it will actually essentially not get picked up by the hoppers. You'll notice that we've that in the dropper now. Okay, so we'll put some red in the first one, some orange in the second one, yellow. You know how rainbows work. Green, blue. Oh, that one needs some bobbins. And purple. And that way, so what this will do now is this hopper will only pick up either something named Cleo's polished diorite named Cleo's bobbins, or red stained glass. And obviously we want it to pick up red stained glass. I'm just trying to think. How are we going to do this now? Because I think I'm going to have to take them out. Because I need to do the other kind of sorting system. So we'll do that now. Right, so now we've got that. That is the second part of the Rainbow River done. The second part being the actual item sorter itself. So this will now sort out all the items we need into the elevators. Now we're going to start at section 3, which is the item collection system. So first thing we want to do is on top of these hoppers, we're going to place a row of ice, like so. I think that's correct, isn't it? I'm just trying to work out. Oh, I had it correct the first time. I did actually have it correct the first time. Did I? Yeah, I had it correct the first time. So actually, yeah, this was correct. So we're going to put all this back in now. Whee. So we're going to make a lovely, nice little rainbow river like so. And we're going to do that. Right. So now that we've done that, we've got this. So now that we've got this, we're going to fill in some blocks around the gaps. This is so that when we introduce water to this river, it doesn't just wash all our redstone out. So we'll do this and this. And then we put some more ice down there. Now we need to bring this across like so. Okay. That correct? That is correct. That is actually the correct way of doing this. Right. And then what we do is we're going to just fill this in like so. And then we grab our bucket of water. So this will go down to here like so. Is that going to be adequate? No, that won't. Okay, so yeah, of course that worked. All right. So I need this to do from here. Yep, that's correct. And then we'll grab some lovely half slabs. Lovely half slabs. Where are they? They are here. And I'm just going to use those ones. I'm just going to put one in there and one in there. And then this will then go into here. And then we'll pop another one there. And another water there. Oh, really, water? You're going to do that to me? Okay. Gotta love maths. Alright, and then that will do that. Can I get away with that? Yeah, I can get away with that. No, actually. You know what? I'm going to pop the half slab in there. And then that hopefully makes it all the way to the end. Okay. We'll work with this. So now we've got this. We're also going to go into decoration blocks. Now you can use chests, or you can use ender chests, or you can use what I'm going to do, which is I'll do a search for that. We're going to use some cake because cake is yummy. So we'll use some cake, and we're just going to pop in. So we're just going to pop in some lovely cake along like so. And this now gives us our water elevator. Now the reason we use cake like this is because of the way hoppers work. If we ran a water over the hoppers directly, because hoppers have a divot, the items would get stuck in the divot. So instead what we do is we actually run the items over the very edge of the hopper. So not only does it gain the speed of the water, but you ever see that tiny little lip next to the cake? Well, that will be enough that the hopper will pick up the items. So that what we can do is we can now drop in. Let's just drop in a ton of red glass. Where's my red glass? There we go. So now what we can do is we can drop in a ton of red glass. And you'll notice it speeds round and then comes back, and hopefully it works. And you'll notice that this hopper picked up much of the red glass. And the red glass has all been picked up, but it's only been picked up by the hopper with the red glass. And if we look in here, we can see that the red glass is in this dropper now, ready to be fired up some more. And that is effectively your Rainbow River. The actual river itself is fully decorative. All you really need is to make sure that when, hang on, let's see if we can put a little bit of decoration on this thing. So what we're going to do is we're literally just going to chuck in. Back, can we jump cut while we do this? Okay, so we have our Rainbow River. This is like a very simple design. Obviously, you know, you're the artist, you're the builder. You can make this thing look amazingly pretty. But it's essentially, so we have a couple of source blocks along the back here, which create the waterfall. I found that this waterfall here needs to be roughly needs to be at least 8 blocks long. So this large sort of section of river needs to be at least 8 blocks long, because the stuff will come flying out and will basically get thrown off the front of the river otherwise. But then it's a simple source block here, just to lead round to the river, and then obviously it drops the items back in at this end here, and then it goes off to be picked up. So what we can do, well, we've only got some red glass in it at the moment, but we can turn the thing on, and I can show you red glass and apparently some levers happily flowing up into the Rainbow River, and then they flow down and drift all around and then go back into the system. So that is essentially a nice, easy way of doing it. And the levers will now obviously never be picked up to the system because there's no droppers collecting them. But I can sit down and put in a couple of stacks. So let's see if we can put in some extra things of glass. So we'll put in some purple, we'll put in some blue. And it really doesn't matter where we put them in, because they'll get sorted out nice and easily. Some green and some orange. And so if we, oh wow, they are getting fired out. So now we have our Rainbow River kicking off rather beautifully on all the pretty colours. And if he comes and stands over here, he can see all the pretty colours coming out of the Rainbow River. And we're getting loads of losses because all the stuff is ending up on the sides. So I will point out, Cleo, you will need to build up the sides a bit more. You will need to make the thing look beautiful and pretty, but this is essentially it. This is all you need to do. And like I say, put the nice clicky droppers as far underground as physically possible. And this bit here where you can drop the glass back into the river, this can actually be as deep as you want, because the glass itself will fall down the channel back into the river. And even if the channel is like 16, 17, 20 blocks, it will still fall back into the channel. But yes. But that is the Rainbow River. I'm sorry the tutorial's been a bit of a mess. I'm not a pro at recording these these videos like you are. So, you know, a bit of pandering at the end there. But there we go. A lovely little happy Rainbow River just for you, Cleo. Bye bye. Please kill me now.
Because andesite does whatever an andesite does.